This video is all about Python software. Now, but before we start, let me show you now. Although there are many IDEs, that is integrated development environment um, for Python that you can use for Python. But me, what I'm using is I downloaded an Anaconda. So you just come here, type in Anaconda download. So you now look at, okay, this is, look at it, anocando.com. So now you click here, free download. Now this, you see, this is a Windows sign. I'm using a Windows system. So but if you're not using Windows, you can go to maybe Apple, if you're using an Apple laptop, or Linux. But we're using Windows. So but I've downloaded this application. So you just download and install into your system. And when you install, you use you open it with spy. This is spy. Let me open with spy. So this is spy. So you open with spy. So like what we're doing now, we're working with spy. So now spy, let's start with a very simple program. You can, like, you say print, let's say the tab, you press the tab key. Now there is the structure for print. You're not supposed, if you write with capital letter, you write all of them with lowercase letter. So if you write with capital letter, that is uppercase letter, it will not run. Now you can either use a single quotation or a double quotation. Now if you use a single or double quotation, you can now, when you put a quotation, like now is a string. If you want to write a string inside um for the print, you will put either a single or double quotation. So now we are using single quotation. Let me say I just type in my name, Chichuku. Just type in my name. If I just click here, click run, this run button, it will show here. Now before I continue again, this environment is what we call the editor, where you write your program, where you write your code. Now here is the variable explorer. Look at it, the variable explorer. Inside the variable, you see, when you click the variable, this is variable explorer tab. This is a plot tab. Then this is the files and their names. So this is the explorer tab. Then here is the console where you execute and also see results. So this is where we saw the results. As I click print, we saw it here as Uche. So that is it. So now for print, now let's say if you want to print in, let's say this Uche, you see the way it is done. As you click print, it goes. Now if I use capital letter, now let's say I use capital letter, then put parenthesis, now put the quotation sign, and now type in my name again, Uchechukwu. Now when you look at it now, you see here is showing undefined. That means this printer is not defined, so it is not recognized by the software. It's not recognized by the Python. So this one will not run, you see, and it's showing there is an error here. So, and it's also telling you the error. The error is undefined name. So because it's capital, see if I say run now, it will not run. See, it has an issue. See, the printer is not defined, you see. So now, but if we now reduce it, let's say we now use small letter, and now remove the capital letter. If you run it, it will run. Look at it, it has two names now. Now, if you want to place a space in between, let's say you want to, you want to put a line, now a space between these two names, you can just come here, type in backstroke n. Okay, in here, type in backstroke n. Now, if you click in, you see there will be a space in between. So now, backspace, new line. This backspace and new line is new with new line. So n mean new line. So if you just click now, see there is a space in between the lines. Now, let's say we want to now put numbers. Let's say there is we want to include numbers. You want to include numbers in this before the after the quote. After the quote, you put a comma. You put in the comma and just say 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 will give you 3. So now we'll run. Now, if you like, if you're using print, if let's say you want to type in, you want to put in, let's say these are numbers, like you have integers, floats. This one is string. This is a string. The name is a string, while the numbers are either integer or float. Float has decimals. So they also we have long and short numbers. So now, but for this, like this now, if you click now, you see there is a comma. That is the wait for print. There is a comma here. So now if I just say enter, see, you say Uche 3. So there you see there is a space. It created a space in between. So now this is the way to do it now. So now let's say this, or also this one now. Let's say I want to also put, there is the properties of this print. Let's say if I want to place a space in between the name and the number, the integer, I will just put comma. I will say sep. Sep is the same thing as separate. Say equal to. Now I'll put a quotation mark. Now this quotation mark, it now means that now if I put a quotation mark without any space, if I click enter, if I click run here, this 3 and this Uche will come close to each other. Look at it. See, they are close now. The 3 is close. Now, but if I come here now, put a space and click enter. See, there will be a space. There is a space now. Now, if I can now this space, I can multiply it and create more space. Let's say I multiply it by 10 times 10. Now click enter. You see the space. Now they have added like 10 space in between the two names, Uche and 3. So there's 2 space in between, the 10 space in between the two letters. Now let's say you add, if we add another, let's say we want to add another figure. we have, let's say we're adding um let's say 3, let's say 4 times 5, okay, times 8, divide by, let me say 7. Now we just enter. See, it will have the same space, the same, this separation, this sep means separator, the same separator space. See, so that is way to write it. So now, and again, you see with commas. Now there's another way to also write the print, like the way these numbers are. There's another way to write them. Let me say, for instance, now let me say we're asked to calculate, to do a conversion. Let me delete this. Let me say you were asked to do a conversion. Let's say we're asked to convert from, so we're asked to convert from Fahrenheit to, we're asked to convert from Fahrenheit to, from from, let's say from Celsius, to Fahrenheit. Now let's go here now. So now you have, for Fahrenheit, for Celsius, you have 0 degree and 100 degree. Now for Fahrenheit, you have 212 and 32. So 32 is equivalent to this. So here is Fahrenheit. So let's say here is the Fahrenheit you want you to get. Then here is C. Now, using interpolation, theory, now this gap from here to here, the ratio from here to here, that is C minus 0, divide by the ratio, divided by 100 minus 0, which is from here to here, divided by from here to here, is the same thing as saying F minus 32 divided by 212 minus 32. So now, here I will give you C all over 100. Then equal to F minus 32 all over 180. So this will now give you, well, we're looking for F. So now let's make F the subject of formula. For us to do that, we multiply both sides by what? 180. So you have C all over 100 times 180 equal to F minus 32 all over 180 times 180. So 180 will cancel out this. Now 0 will cancel 0. Now 2 here is 9, 2 here is 5. So we now have C times 9 all over 5 equal to F minus 32. So that means F minus 32 is equal to 9C all over 5, which means that F is equal to, if you move this 32 to this other side, it means that you have 9C all over 5 plus 32. So this is the formula for converting Celsius to Fahrenheit. So now let's go back to our program. So now let's say, now let's say we are asked to convert Fahrenheit, Celsius to Fahrenheit. Then now let's say they gave us, you will now say the F. First we'll say C which is Celsius. Or I can just say, now let's say they gave us 21 degree Celsius. Now what we're going to do is say F equal to 9 times 21 divided by 5 plus 32. Now just say print F. You can just say print F. Print F. So if you just click enter, see it prints F of 69.8. Now we can also write it in another form like this. Now with the way this is being stated here, you cannot make change. If you want to make changes, you go to the the let's say we want to calculate another um Celsius. We want to calculate another, do another conversion. We now come here and begin to make changes. So but for us to do that, for us to make changes, for us to also make changes without coming into the formula to make the changes, we can as well add what we call variable. So now I can just say C is equal to what? 32. Now, sorry, is equal to 21. Now I'll just come here where there is 21 and change it to C. So with this, it can work. Now if I just click, it gives me still 69.8. Now I can now here now I can just add some other values. And sorry, I can add some other. You see the answer it gave us 69.8. That 69.8 does not tell me what is happening. So now what I will do is that I can just come here and say, I just add a quotation mark. You can add a quotation mark and just add a quotation mark, then put comma. Then inside this quotation mark, I can say before I do that, I can now say C, comma. Now I'll just say 21. I can say 21 degree 21 degree Celsius was converted to dash to this F. Now put a quotation mark. Was converted to this F. There is this says converted to this 245. So Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit. was converted to this Fahrenheit. Now, see the way it is. You can just, we click now, see, it say 21 degrees Celsius was converted to that Fahrenheit. Simple. See now, it now tells you what really happens. You see the way I wrote it. Now, if you look now, the one that has numbers, the C is an integer. So C is an integer or a float, while these ones here are string. The strings are in quotations, while the F, you see the F is not in quotation. Now the F is a number, so it's a float, so because that's a decimal. So now look at the way it is written. So with print, you can just write it this way. So that is it. There is also another way to add in these variables. Now I can say this variable, I can now use what we call the input. Now since the input, you can input your name, you can input a name which is a string, you can also input numbers. So we use the function input. But for this one that's a string, before you input it, you put evaluate. Use this word evaluate. So now you put the evaluate, then before you put the input, before you put in the input, then you place the tab key. Then we now have to add a quotation mark. The quotation mark will now say, we can now say enter the, we can say the value of the cell Celsius. The value of the Celsius to be converted. Now, with this, we can be putting various values. So now we have variable C. Now let's come here now. We say enter. As you enter the value of the Celsius to be converted. So now I can just put in 25.4648. So if I just enter, this is the answer. So 25.48 degrees Celsius was converted to 77.864 Fahrenheit. Now, you see the way the whole thing is now. Then now, there's also another form, another way we can now be able to kind of rewrite this printout, this print. So now it will also give you the same result. So now let's come down. I see another form of writing this print now. So let's say we say, okay, now before I do this, let me just add, one line. Then now let's say a print, press the tab key. Now we need to write this same thing here. Now what we're going to do, there is another format of writing this whole thing. Now let's say the C is a float, the F is also a float. So now we're going to use this we're going to use this percentage sign. Now we're going to use percentage sign, but before we do that, we need to put all of them inside a quote. we'll now use a percentage sign, then we can just say 4. This is 4 dot, let me say 2 f. F means float. So now there D is when you want to format an integer, D. F for float. S is for string. Now, so now I haven't written it like this. I will now go, I will say the degree, degree Celsius was converted to, now where the F will be, I will also add another formatting, which is the same. I will use the same formatting format. Then having done this, I will just come here. Now you see, for this there will be no comma. I will not use comma here. So I will just put a that tilde. I will use that percentage sign. Then I will now add parenthesis. Now in that parenthesis, I will just include the C, the order in which it is being arranged. No, this is case sensitive, so the C is capital, so I need to put capital. If I didn't put capital, it will not recognize that C. The F is also capital. So now, so since we have concluded this, you see that the thing will also come in the way the other answer is. See the way this answer is, it will come in that way so too. So now this is another form of writing this with print. Now you see I use the percentage sign, which is this. So this one now represents the C, because look at the positioning here. The C is the first one, the F is the second one, which is this, that has a percentage sign. So now let's now click enter. Now the thing asks us for value. Now let me just add 25.4567. Now I added 4 decimal, but now for my format, for the format, I use 2 decimal. This 2 means 2 decimal. Then this 4 means the space. The space, as in the space for those where the space the letters will come in with. So now this 2 here also is decimal. You see this first one. This first has 3 decimal here. Now the Celsius, we have added up to 4 decimal here. So now let's click the enter key. You see the one that has 4 decimal, it has not changed to 2 decimal here. You see, we added, what we input was 25.4578. Because of the format, it's now changed to this. Now, but this one that does not have format comes in the way it is. Now, see, this one that doesn't have format comes in the way it is. Now, you see there is this space, this new line we added here is being included. Look at it. Now, you now have to 75. So now, but I need to also add here Fahrenheit. So since I had this is 25 degree Fahrenheit, I will now need to add degree. I need to add degree degree, sorry, degree Fahrenheit. I need to add degree Fahrenheit. So now let's run it and see again. Now I also need to, this other one I'm using comma here now. Let me add here. I need to add in here degree Fahrenheit. So let's click now. Now let me say I use 67.854. Now I added like 6 decimal place. So now you see this one comes in with that 6 decimal and here almost decimal, but here now it reduces, and this reduces degree Fahrenheit, so 2 degree Fahrenheit. I just added it now. So now this is the way to use it. Now there is also another inbuilt format for print again, where you now use, let me just type in print. Now we now put in the quotation mark like this. Now we now use, what we use here is, we use for all these formatting formats, we use color breaks. So now here now there is a positioning. Now um Python starts, the numbering starts from 0 to 0, 1, 2, and on and on. So now here now we need to start from, we just say the positioning, will say 0, then we'll add column. Sorry, it's not column, we'll add column. We'll now add column. Now when you add column, you can now add, you now say 4.2 F with color bricks. So now you now also come here, we now type in this, you say degree Celsius was converted to, you now put another color bricks. Now in here, the second one is 1. The position of the second one, the first one, the position is 0. The second one, the position is 1. So you now put column. We are using the same 4.2 F. And then now we'll now move to this other side. We'll now add degree Fahrenheit. Then you go to this other side. Now you will not also use comma. You see, in the first one, the first print, there is a comma. If you're separating lines, if you're separating, numbers and string, you use comma. But in this other one, there is no comma. You just put in the color breaks. So this is the way it is. So now you now move over to the other side. You now say dot. You now use what? Format. Press the tab key. Now the first one is C. Press the tab key. The next one is F. Press the tab key and you're out. Now, here I needed to add a space. I need to add a space so that it will differentiate each other. So now let's run it again. Now let me just say 78.045434. So now let's run. So now you see you have 3. This one now is with that format. It was not, the numbers are not formatted, so it comes the way it is. Then this one are formatted into to 2 decimal. Look at it. This one also formatted to 2 decimal. That is it. So that this is the way for print. Now you see you see the for input and all that. This. So then now let's now go to now there are some other things. Let me clean this. Let me clean off. Okay, let me not clean. Let me just add another. Let's save this to be let's save it as profit as practice. Let me call it practice 1, or let me say example 1. Save. So now let's open another um, environment. So now so we haven't done that. Then let's look at, there are some other terms like in print. Like now if I say print, now let's say my name, I want to print my name. I want to print my name. Let's say Uche Chukwu. Now let's copy. Let me copy and paste. Paste again. Now let's say we have this now. I want to change this to, let's say, Stephen. Then this one to my last name. Now let's run. If you run this, it will just come in like this, Uchechukwu Stephen. Now there is another kind of command for, there is another properties of print now that you can use to add all these names together. Now let's say I just say comma, I use what we call end equal to, let me say, now let me add a space in between them. Now if you run now, you see that these two will come together. See, they came together. See it? So look at it, Uchechukwu Stephen has, Now let's look at this. Now you can also add it here. Now all of them will now come together. Now say end equal to, then with a space. Now click. See, all of them are on the same line now with this end statement. Now you can also, if you put a comma inside, in between, inside the, if you put a comma there, if you put a comma like in this one, we put a comma too here. Now they will be separated by that comma. Now look at it. See, The commas are there now. Separate, they are separated with those commas. So that is it. So now these are the properties of that you can put things together. You can, if you want to put things together, so you can actually do that. So with this, so now, so that is it. So now you see the first time we printed it, they are all separate. So now that is it. So now this is for some of the properties, some of the things you can do with the print. Now let's look at some of the, let's do some tags. Now there's some tags here. They say print a box like the one below. So now to print this box is simple. It's simple. Now let's delete this one. What we did here. That is simple. We can just say print. We can just say print. Now you have how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rows. How many stars there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there are 19. So there are too many ways to do that. Now I just put a column, a quotation mark, and now add the star. I can just go here and multiply. Just say multiply by 19. This is another way to do it. There is also another way. You just say print. Now just put a quotation mark. I will now just say I add 19 stars. Let me be counting. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, like this. You can do it this way. So, but I prefer the first one. The first one is better. Now, we needed to do like, it need to be two. It need to be 4 rows. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows here. So, but with this, there is also a simpler way using for loop, but for loop we will not do for loop here now. For now, okay, I can also go into for loop in this case. So now, but let's continue now. Now for this, but I just wanted to just start just like for the beginners, so that they will know you don't like you're jumping into what they might get them confused. But I'll still do it here. So if you want to do using for loop. Now let's see, when you see the way this is now, if I just click, you see the triangles is just being created. Now let me, you see all of them created the same number of lines. So but for me, the best, if I want to do this, is using this other method instead of, because you might be counting and you didn't count it properly. So it's better to use this method for all. Just you use multiplication sign and you are there. So now if I just click enter, so you see the triangle is being created. Then now there is another one. This, they say print out this box like the one below. So now to print out this box, the easy way out is just, now that means you have 19 box. Now we needed to extra box. So what we're going to do here is we are going to just say we're going to use this, then put comma, then add a quotation mark, add a quotation mark, then a comma. Then you now add a star. Then in this star, we can now here put a separator, use that separator method, say equal to, now we now add a quotation. In this case, we're using single quotation. Then now we now add a space, so now we want to create in what we call 17 space. So this will be 17 because we have the two stars have also already occupied the space. So now we have 17 spaces. What I'll do, I'll copy this, use it to replace this one. Now if you run, you see we have created that. So look at it here. You see, this is a triangle. So this is this form of this triangle now. Now there is also another way to also create this, like what I said, the for loop. The for loop. Now if you want to do the for loop method, now let's leave this. What I will do now, I want to clear this console, this kernel. It's called kernel or console. Now where the results, we see results. So now I will just use control dot, control plus dot. So now just delete. Now we have deleted it. So now I want to use for loop. So now for for loop, there is a structure for for loop. Now you have for, okay, not here. You now have for I in range. Now range, if I just say now we have 4 rows. So now the range, it should be 4. We need 4. Now since we need 4 range, 4 rows. Now the number of since we need 4 rows, so now we now need to, and the 4 rows, we can just type in like 4 here. Now the structure for this for loop, there should be a column here. Even for the if, you need to add a column, but for this the spider IDE, if I just click enter, the without typing that column there, the column will show off. But you needed to put it, when you put the column, then there should be an indentation. Now you see, if you move this cursor to this point and type, it will not run. But with this indenting, it will run. So now let's say we want to print. Now what I want to do is to print this one. Print this. I will just click in. So what we're going to do now, we are going to print 4 of those items. Now let's run. You see, now we run. You see this one now, it has printed. Okay, let's add a space. Let's say there should be a space. Let me add a space. Now let's run again. Now, I need to add a comma, a quotation mark, then add one line. Then let's run. Now, you see this one is this one up here, then this is using for loop. Just 2 lines were done. Then for us to run this, we can reduce this line. We can reduce, okay, it will still be the same number of line. Or we can reduce this one to one for loop. We can reduce this two to one for loop, to one, and this two to there. Like this one, we can use the if statement too to run that one. So that is it. So now, so with the for, you can do this. You see, that is it. So now let's look at the next question. The next one was print a triangle like this one below. So now for this, if we use for loop, you get it very easy. But now let's see. It has 4 rows. If you see the way it is, the first one, you're just multiplying by 1 because it's 1. Then the second one, let's delete this. You're multiplying by 2. The third one, you're multiplying by 3. By 3, not 6. By 3. We are multiplying by 3. Then this one, we are multiplying by what? 4. Now, if we want to use for loop here to run this, we have I. We'll just come here and change this to I. So each of the I. So now the I here now starts from 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, and for range, for range, for range, let me use, sorry, I would have used white. So for range, for this range function, now if you have 10 like this, range 10, so now the thing will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and to so on. I see if you count this is 10. Now, and if you have range, let's say 1 to 10, it will start from 1 now. 1, 2, 3, 4 till 9 to not get to 10. So now this means you're starting from 1. Now if you have range 1, 10, then you have 2, it means you're moving in twos. Now you start from 1. The next one will be you add 2 to it. Is you have 3, you have 5, 7, 9, you stop. You see it? So that is the way it is. So now this 2 is incremental. Now if it is 1, it will be like this. So that is the principle for range. That is the way range works. If it's 1 here, it will be like this because you see the gaps are 1, 1, 1, 1. So that is it. So now, since um for the triangle, the first one is supposed to be 1, you have 2, 3, and 4. So because you have 1 star, the other one you have 2 stars, you have 3 stars, you will now have 4 stars. Now with this case, it shows that the range will be 1 then 5, because it will stop at 4. So now that is what we're going to do. So now let's go back to our environment. Now let's go back. Now let's say this is I now. So here is supposed to be 1, 5. Now is it 5 or 8 there? It is 8 on root there. 5. Now since we didn't add the incremental part, it will assume it's 1. To choose the default value 1. So now you see we'll create the triangle. So see we are going to create it. Let me delete this. Control dot. Let's delete. Now this one will create the triangle. This one will also create the triangle. So now let's run. You see, this one creates the triangle, this one also creates the triangle. This is the 2 triangles, these 2. So using 4, you just have only 2 lines. But for this other one, for print, you keep on repeating it, and it's tedious. So but that is why we need these loop functions, these loop properties in programming. So now you see with this you can just a few lines and you're there. Now let's look at, they said we should solve, so write a program that computes and prints the results of this if it is roughly, okay, the answer is roughly 0.1017. So now let's write a program to run this. So now what we're going to do, this one is just a simple program. What I will do, let's delete this whole thing, and let's come here, say control dot, and delete this. So now let's run this program. Let's look at that program. Now what we're going to do is just direct. It's just a direct stuff. I will just let's see. So to print to print the result of this. So now to print, that's will be, I will just say, I will just use I will just say, I will just call it result. So result is my variable equal to parenthesis. Now inside the parenthesis, okay, sorry. Inside the parenthesis, I will just type in 512 minus 282 minus 282. So 5, just type in direct, 512 minus 282. Now you use the divide sign. The divide, this sign is for divide. So now use it to divide. Now you have divide by 47 times 48. So you now say, now you also introduce another parenthesis, another bracket, you can call it, okay, no, a parenthesis. So now you now have 47 times 48, 48, not 47 again, 48, then plus 5, then plus 5. So this is it, simple. We'll just enter, then I will just say print. We'll just say print, just type in print. Now just click the tab key, put a single quotation. I will just say, let me just say the result is, let's say roughly, then I will just use the percentage sign. I want it in 4 decimal place, so now I will just say 2 point, let me say not 2, let's say 10, 10.4, that is 4 decimal place, then a float. I use a float, then I will now also put the percentage sign, then bracket open, I will just write the result, press the tab key. So that is it. So now we can also write it in this other form. Okay, let me leave it in this form. Okay, let me write it in another form. Copy, paste. I will just say, then now I'll just change this to color bricks. Put color bricks here. Put up a color bricks here again. Then here I put the column. I'm putting the column without the positioning. The positioning is 0, but I don't need to put the positioning, so it will still come up with that same answer. So come here, I just put in dot format, press the tab key. Okay, there is no need to press that tab key. I have it already there. So let's delete. So let's delete. So that is it. Now let's run it. Let me run. See, look at the answer we have. You see, because I used 10, you see there is a space. So the space, because of that 10, the space is small. Now look, if you reduce the space, let's say I use the space, I change it to, let's say 6. Okay, let's say 4. Let's say 4. 4. You will see that this thing will shrink in, and it will close that space there. So now let's run. You see it has closed the space. It has closed the space. So when you look at the 2, you see the space is closed. So that is it now. So now that is for this now. So now let's now look at another question. They say okay, ask the user to enter a number Then print out the square of that number, but use the several options argument to print it out in a full sentence that ends in a period, like this. So sample output is shown. Okay, so now they say the square of 5 is okay. Now let's delete this. Let's delete this. And now they said, so what we're going to do is we call it number. Because call it num. So number, we just say evaluate. Press the tab key, input. Press the tab key, then press the quotation mark. Okay, no, it's on the wrong place. Now it's on the wrong place. So we now have to add another column, put it here. We now put a quotation mark. We just say enter the number. Enter the number. Now you put a space so that where you enter the number there will be a space. So now we'll now say enter. Now what we're going to do is say print. You can just say print, press the tab key. We now say I use column. So sorry, a quotation mark. We say the square is not written well. The square of, you can just say the square of comma number comma quotation mark the square of number, the square of no is no, it went to another place. Is, just type in here, is add another comma, is number 2 star 2. So number, so now that is it. Simple, straight away. We just click enter, it will just run, give us the answer. Now they want us to use 5, so we'll just type in 5. So the answer is the square of 5 is 25. Well, now they want us to add a separator with a dot. Sorry, column with dot. Now let's run. Say 5. So there are dots everywhere. No, there shouldn't be dots here. let's say there is this, okay, there shouldn't be a space. Then here there is a comma here. Sorry, not dot, comma. And then there is a quotation mark here. Then there is a dot. Now let's run. Now let's say you say 5. So we say 5. Now I needed to add a space here. So there will be a space. Now let's run it again. This is 5. So there is a space, so it's okay now. Comes out well. The square of 5 is 25 dots. So now, so we have done that. So let's go to the next question. They said, as a user, ask the user to enter a number x. Use the set option, okay, to print out x, 2x, 3x, 4x, and 5x is separated by 3 dashes like below, okay. So, and the number they added was 7. The number they entered was what? 7. So let me just use the same thing. Add the number 7, then each of the whole thing will now be now the separator will be the separator will just be 3 dash. Okay, no, this is 3 dash. This is 4. Okay, 3. Now, and we're going to remove this. So let me see. Now that means the first one, that number, that means we don't need to add this. We don't need to put this here. The first number is this. The second number will be number times 2. The third number will just be number times 3. The fourth one will just be number times 4. So see up to what? 5. The last one will just be number times 5. Number times 5. So now let's run it. Number times 5, then the separator, look at it. So now let's run and see. Now, and what the number they want us to add, we put here is 7. Just say enter. See 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. That is it. That's correct. That is correct. So that is it. We are going to stop from here. Stop here. My battery is down already. So please, if you like this video, please subscribe, like, and share the video. And also, please also make some comment. Make a comment. Please, I also use this medium to also appreciate my subscribers. I appreciate them so well. Now, if you look at this, see results, look at the variables, results, see results, look at, is a float. This number is is what? Is an integer. int means integer. So please subscribe and share the video. Although this code we wrote here, or that is written here, we can also use for loop to do it, but that is for another day. My battery is already down. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Please, I am using this medium to also appreciate my subscribers and both old and new, and also my viewers. Please subscribe, like, make your comments, and share the video. Thank you.